Teri Hatcher, we had her on Loose Women this week, but since then, so she was talking about her
Well, she made headlines
channel.
with you on Loose Women
Yeah.
when she talked about her willingness, if they brought Desperate Housewives back,
Yeah.
she'd be first on board.
Yeah.
The American version of Star Magazine came out with a huge cover story. Teri is broke, she's homeless, she's living in her van. As you know, she talked about a show she's
does
doing on
interviews
YouTube.
with people
She does
in the
interviews
van.
in this van that she's had forever. She was very, very...
Wasn't there a photograph of something of her, obviously not dressed up, and they were saying, oh, she looks like she's homeless.
Disheveled, right.
Yeah.
Consequently, she really wanted to set the record straight. So at the same Grosvenor hotel suite we were with Rod, here comes Teri Hatcher, and we talk about that. Very forceful here, look.
A couple of weeks ago, the magazine reached out to my publicist. They said they were going to run this story about me being broke, and I think they even used the word suicidal and homeless and whatever. And my lawyer and my publicist said, categorically not true, you can't print that. And then they went and ran it anyway. And that is even more egregious, that it was so purposefully hurtful.
So if the editor of The Star were sitting here across from you, what would you say to him?
I would say, you're a bad guy. You knew that this wasn't true, and you printed this to try to make money for yourself. You're a greedy, bad guy. The thing I think is also just an interesting comparison of how they do this to women more than they do this to men. Matthew McConaughey also has a vintage Airstream that he has out in Malibu that he lives in. And yet he is in Architectural Digest, and I'm homeless and destitute and broke. What's happening there? That it's the aging woman that we are, wanting to project as downfallen and destitute and unhappy and alone, when none of those things are true. It's something that has to change.
She sounds very upset.
Well, she was particularly eager to talk International Women's Day, and she says, we talk so much all over now about Me Too and all these other things. She's saying this tabloid bullying is another example where the tabloids are mean to everybody, but what she's pointing out is they're even more difficult to women of a certain age. She wasn't happy about it, and she's very pleased that conversation now has really traveled and is obviously putting down the tabloid story.
It's a very vicious thing to say that somebody's down and out homeless and suicidal without any course of redress for her.
And also because it's demonstrably false.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what's particularly annoying. She said to them, this isn't true.
Yeah.
And, tabloids often have this behavior. They'll take a photo and take the story backwards from there. What story will make this photo seem true?
Photo work.